my sister Dolores was born in '39, so I imagine we came to Niles about 40, because in 40 I was starting the first grade.
Okay.
You know.
So were there a lot of other Mexican families in that area where you were?
Oh yeah, it was all Mexican families that lived there. But from what I understand, going way back, was that Italians used to live there in that area, in that section, because right next to where we lived, which was the second house over, I mean from the main, I can't think of the name. Well, the first, it was one house. The second house over was a gentleman named Guido Lamprey. He was the gardener at the grammar school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is at the original house that you lived in
the
before
one in
you.
Over Lale Street, divided. Okay, and Lamprey used to live there, and he used to be the gardener there at the Niles Grammar School. You know? And then also too, in Niles, as you're going north on Mission Boulevard, on the left-hand side, the name of that street is Vallejo Street also. See? And if you go there, there was quite a few Italian people that were living in that area. In fact, my ex-father-in-law, his family and stuff lived in that area there.
Did you sense prejudice against Mexicans in any part of your growing up?
No, you know, I didn't sense any prejudice. The only prejudice I remember was when Ralph Andrade wanted to buy that house up there in Canyon Heights, you know. But as far as growing up, I mean, even though the Caucasians, they weren't rich, they were poor, so we were all about the same, you know. It wasn't much different.
Right.
You know, so it was all about the same. And went to high school, same thing, you know.
So, okay, so you remember the war.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me a little bit about the World War II and living in Niles at that time.
At the time living in Niles, the Second World War was, they would come in a bus and they would pick up well, at 18 you had to register for the draft. Okay, and then they would get so many guys they were going to take into service, and a bus would come around, pick them up, and I guess they were taking them up to Fort Ord. That's where the process center was, in Fort Ord. I remember that. In fact, right there used to be when you first came into town on the left-hand side, it was a Shell gas station owned by the Perrys, and that's where they would stop, you know, and pick up the guys that were going to go into service, you know.
So what else do you remember? What about, were there blackouts that you remember, or rationing, or?
Okay, there you go. Okay, good question. Because when the blackouts would come, you know, the fire sirens would go on. And then up in the hill, up above, the sign of Niles, they covered it all up because they were scared that the Japanese would see it and would bomb there, you know.
Right.
And then also, too, my dad, being that he worked for the railroad, he would go up, they would send him up to Niles Canyon to guard the tracks, make sure that there was no bombs or something, or that in the wintertime, that the hill, that they wouldn't have a landslide to block the tracks, you know. So he would work during the day, and then at night he would have to go up there to watch, you know, the tracks, make sure everything was clear, so when the train would come.
Wow.
You know.
Wow. And so, of course, you remember the war. You were a child. You were like 7 or 8 years old when it started, maybe?
Well, I started in '41, so I was about 6 years old.
6.
Yeah.
So do you remember the end?
Yeah, I remember the end.
What do you remember?
45, but it was, I mean, all the sirens went on, and, you know, a big celebration.
Everybody was, in Niles too?
Oh, yeah, all over. You know.
Okay. So, so then, what year did you graduate from high school?
High school, 1954.
And you were still living at home. Then what did you do?
Okay, when from the section house, my parents had a duplex up in the hills. As you're coming down from Four Corners, you're going towards Hayward. On the right-hand side of the hill, there was a duplex there. Right next to it was the hot dog stand there. Next to the hot dog stand was Meeker's Building Supplies. See, and from there, I think was
So you moved from the section
from the
house
section house
up to a duplex on what
Yeah.
street was that?
okay, Mission Boulevard.
Okay.
Yeah, Mission Boulevard. Yeah, on the hill, right on the.
Is that house still there?
Yeah, it's still there. Yeah.
Do you know the address? You don't know the
No, I
address.
don't know the address.
We
but
could
it's
find
not
that.
the
You
same-
could
it's not
show
the
it to
same
me.
Like when my mom and dad had it. Oh, they used to keep it up real good. My dad used to plant vegetables and all that.
So when did they move there?
When?
The whole family moved there
It
then?
had to be about 53 because I think I was going to be a junior in high school in 53. In 54 we lived there, and then we all lived there until let's see, after I got out of high school, I didn't have any money to buy a car, so I was working for Solon Brothers. There was a Flying A gas station there, and I was working there
In downtown Niles?
in downtown Niles. And prior to that, I went to work for Crane Garage, sweeping floors and stuff. And then,
Where was Crane Garage?
okay, Crane Garage was in the middle of the first block on the left-hand side.
On Niles Boulevard?
On Niles Boulevard. And that's coming from Old Town going towards where the Julia Pontiac used to be, okay, on the left side. And I went to work there, and I worked, I guess, quite a few years until,
So you did that while you were going to high school?
no, when I was going to grammar school.
Oh, really? When did
Yeah.
you start working?
I think, well, prior to that, in the summertime, I used to go pick apricots, you know.
Where did you pick apricots?
I used to pick apricots for the Kellers, who the sister was a third grade teacher, and Mrs. Keller's brother had the ranch, okay, and then Tom, the son, they had a son, Tom and Catherine Keller. Okay, the son was a year ahead of me in school, and the daughter was in my class. Okay, later on, she passed away before we got to high school. And anyway, I worked there, and then probably, I guess I must have been about 13, 14. That's when I went, no, younger than that, probably about, was 12, I think, when I went to work for Crane Garage. Gave me a job. I used to sweep the floors, you know, and then Mr. Crane taught me how to grease cars and taught me a little bit about automobiles, you know. And then from there, somebody else bought it. Egrin bought it. So I quit there and I went to work for Solon Brothers, you know, working at a gas station,
Okay.
pumping gas and greasing cars and stuff.
And that was through high school? Or,
Yeah, through high school, and then after I got out of high school, I wanted to go to a trade school to learn how to be an airplane mechanic, see, and made enough money, got a car, and then
working at the gas station?
working at the gas station, yeah, I made enough money, got a car, and then I was going to trade school, and then coming out of trade school, I'd come over and work in the gas station, a couple hours, you know,
So where was the trade school?
on 45th and Broadway in Oakland Tech.
Oh, wow, that was a long drive.
Yeah, it was a long drive, big time.
You said there wasn't a freeway at that time.
Okay, the freeway would come on 880, would terminate on Jackson Street
Jackson Street in Hayward.
in Hayward. And you would either go Mission Boulevard to get to Niles, or you would go the other way, which you would go through Alvarado and go in to come in Niles.
So how long did it take you to drive back and forth every day? An hour maybe, huh?
Well, probably more, I don't know. Well, you know, let's see, I would get out of school at 2:30, and it would probably take me about an hour because there wasn't that much traffic, you know.
Right.
And then I get home, eat a little bit, and then go to sleep, and then get up again to be back at work at midnight.
Where did you work at midnight? The gas station?
No. After the gas station,
Okay, just a minute.